three countries are at war with each other: Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia. All three claim the same man as their greatest poet. He was Armenian. He was born in Georgia. His greatest songs were written in Azerbaijani. He died refusing to deny any of it. In 1795, a Persian army came to his monastery. They told him, "Convert or die." He picked up his saz and played one last song. His name was Sayat Nova. In Persian, it means King of Songs, and no king has ever claimed more kingdoms than he, the Caucasus, a mountain crossroads between empires. For thousands of years, Armenians, Georgians, and Turkic peoples lived on the same ridges, drank from the same rivers, fought over the same valleys. In this space between languages and religions, a tradition existed that belonged to all of them: the Ashik. The word means one who is in love, not in love with a person, in love with something that has no name, something between God and beauty, and the truth that songs carry and logic cannot. The Ashik tradition goes back at least 1400 years, before Islam, before Christianity had fully reached these mountains, to a time when Turkic shamans used song to speak with spirits. The Ashik doesn't choose this life. The tradition says he is chosen. In a dream, a figure appears and gives him a cup of wine. When he wakes, he can sing what he couldn't sing before. He walks. He sings at weddings, in coffee houses, at crossroads. He carries the history of the people in improvised verses. New words, old forms, ancient melodies. The most demanding form is the Deyishme, a contest between two Ashiks, improvising poetry at each other in real time. The audience judges. The loser must hand over his saz. The classical repertoire of the Azerbaijani Ashik alone includes 200 songs, 150 epic compositions, nearly 2,000 poems, all carried in a single human body moving between mountains. And the greatest one who ever walked those mountains was a weaver's son from Tiflis, who sang in 3 languages and was killed for speaking one truth. Tiflis, 1712, a city that speaks Armenian, Georgian, Persian, and Turkish in the same marketplace on the same morning. Into this city, an Armenian child is born, his father from Aleppo, his mother from Tiflis, his future in 3 languages he has not yet learned. He grows up working at a loom, and then one night, the dream, the cup, the voice, and when he wakes, the saz is already in his hands. He takes the name Sayat Nova, King of Songs, a name in Persian for an Armenian man in Georgia, playing Azerbaijani music. This is the Caucasus. His fame grows until it reaches the court of King Heraclius II of Georgia. The king invites him, and Sayat Nova becomes something no Ashik had been before, a court singer who is also a diplomat. He helped to negotiate alliances between Georgia, Armenia, and Shirvan against the Persian Empire, the King of Songs as the king's envoy, the saz as the instrument of peace. And then, love. He fell in love with a woman of the royal family. The king heard of it, and Sayat Nova was banished from the court. He walked back to the road, and the road gave him what the court never could. Every village, every crossroads, every wedding where someone needed the right words at the right moment. He sang in Armenian, in Georgian, in Azerbaijani, sometimes all 3 in the same song, as if the languages were strings on the same saws, and he was playing all of them at once. When his wife died in 1768, Sayat Nova went to the monastery at Hagpat in the mountains of northern Armenia. He became a monk. He took the name Der Stepanos, but he never stopped being an Ashik. He copied manuscripts, he composed, he prayed, he kept the saz beside the altar, a monk who sang love songs in 3 languages to a God he found in all of them. September 1795, he is 83 years old. The Persian forces of Aga Muhammad Khan are moving through Georgia. The monastery. The soldiers arrive at the gate. They make the demand, convert to Islam, or die. Sayat Nova looked at them, and he said, I am Armenian, I am Christian. This is what I am. This is what the songs are made of. I will not change it. He was killed on September 22nd, 1795. Buried at the Cathedral of St. George in Tbilisi, the Georgian city where he was born, in the Armenian church that held him at the end. About 220 of his songs survived, most of them in Azerbaijani, the Armenian poet whose greatest surviving work is in the language of Azerbaijan. Today, Armenia and Azerbaijan are at war. Georgia is caught between them, but all 3 have streets named after him, schools, cultural societies, monuments. In 1968, a Soviet-Armenian filmmaker named Sergei Parajanov made a film about his life. The Soviet censors saw it and banned it, because a man who belongs to 3 nations is a problem for any regime that needs you to belong to only one. The film is now called one of the greatest ever made. It is called The Color of Pomegranates, and it is as untranslatable as Sayat Nova himself. Think about what the Ashik understood, that every nation-state built after him has tried to forget. A song does not need a passport. Beauty does not speak only one language. And the deepest things a human being feels, grief, love, the presence of God in an evening, do not belong to any nation. The Soviet regime tried to change the Ashik tradition. It pushed Ashiks into ensembles, onto stages, away from the solo wandering and the improvised contests. It made the tradition respectable, and in doing so, it cut the tradition's roots. Today in Azerbaijan, 67 music schools teach the saz. The instrument survives. But the solo dastan, the long epic narration that a single Ashik could perform for hours from memory, that is thinning. Because learning the saz in a classroom is not the same as drinking the cup in a dream. The instrument is teachable. The calling is not. Sayat Nova was an Armenian who sang in Azerbaijani to Georgian kings about a love that had no nationality. In 1795, a soldier told him to choose one identity or lose his life, and he chose none of them, and all of them. Today, Armenia and Azerbaijan are in conflict. There are walls between them, and on both sides of the wall, they sing Sayat Nova's songs without knowing they are singing the same words. That is what the Ashik always was, the voice that traveled between the walls, the proof that what people share is older and deeper than what divides them. The Ashik tradition is not dying. It is alive in Azerbaijan, in Turkey, in Armenia, in Iran. But its deepest knowledge, the improvised duel, the solo epic, the dream that gives you the song, that is thinning, and no music school can replace a dream. And somewhere in the Caucasus tonight, an old man is playing a saz at a wedding, and the bride and groom do not know that what they are hearing is 1400 years old. And that is exactly how it should be. The Ashik teaches us something that borders cannot teach, and that textbooks cannot contain. Identity is not a wall, it is a road. The Ashik does not ask which country the road belongs to. He asks, where does it lead? And then he walks. Sayat Nova could have converted. He was 83 years old. He had already given everything a life could give. No one would have blamed him for choosing survival over principle. He chose not to. And in that refusal, he became what no country can contain and no army can kill: a song. What language do you carry that belongs to more than one world? What song are you singing that no border can stop? The Ashik chose nothing. The dream chose him. He took the cup. He picked up the soz. He walked between the walls for 83 years. And when the walls finally came for him, he was still walking. Painted wisdom, forgotten stories, painted in light, new story every week. If this story stayed with you, subscribe. The next one will too.